Hi, this is the fourth film in my series about Bence Mate's farm in Hungary, and today we're going to be using the theatre hide. Now this is a very unique hide. It's got a long tunnel entrance to it underground, and when you're in it you've got a choice of shooting out either side, so you can use it in the morning and the evening. It's quite unique. Now they can't get the car right up to the hide here, so you do have a 2-minute walk to get to it. There's a loo on the right hand side there, and then there's this cabin, and we're in a very remote spot here, but this cabin accommodates 4 photographers and they can stay there overnight. And some of the hides you take your shoes off and some you don't. Well, this one you do. It's very, very posh. And the strange thing is we're in a very remote place, but we've got air conditioning unit up here, a big fridge down here, there's a bedroom, bunk beds, so sleeps 4 people. But then what you do, there's another floor down below. And then these lights come on automatically, and we have a sort of tunnel. And we have to duck down to get through. And then you enter the hide proper. There's 3 office chairs in here and the longest bit of one-way glass of any of the hides. It's massive. Your camera is not on a traditional tripod or even on the shelf. It's got this moving bracket, and you can have 2 cameras on that bracket. There's space for 1 each side. You can shoot out both sides of the hide, one side in the morning and the other side in the afternoon. There's water both sides of the hide, and it is full of birds. Now, why does this black stork put its feathers around its bill? I had to Google it to find out. Nobody really knows, but it suggested it's to keep warm, and it's to do with those flanges by the eye. Maybe when it's really cold it puts the feathers up higher. I don't know. Nobody seems to know for certain. But this is the rare stork in Europe, the black stork. As with last week's film, I'm mostly using the 40 to 150mm lens. It's a lovely lens to use, and very, very sharp. If I did use the 150 to 400, which I might have done for this shot, then I'd be sort of hand holding it and balancing it on the bracket, not actually attaching it to the bracket. Great cormorants. These were coming in intermittently, and when they did come in, they was of great interest to the other herons and storks. So this bird is just drying out its wings now, and the headshot would require that bigger lens again to show that lovely green eye they have. So the grey heron, the great egret and the spoonbill were very interested in this cormorant. When it goes in the water, the heron and the egret would get very close to it, and if it caught a fish, they would attack it and try and grab that fish off the cormorant, although the cormorant was actually very good at defending itself. The spoonbill's interest was slightly different. It was just following the cormorant. So it would appear that as the cormorant goes through the water, it's disturbing the food items that the spoonbill wants. So it's able to follow them up and grab hold of things. heron and the egret have to get much closer because they're going to try and snatch that fish away from it. Nearly had it. This is the great white egret. They are found in the UK now, but they're not very widespread or common yet. And in the breeding plumage, they look quite spectacular. The grey heron. It's nice to be photographing these birds from such a low angle. It makes them look far more dramatic than when you're looking down at them. And this is the spoonbill. Now, I have photographed spoonbills before, but this was just a very special opportunity. Lovely settings to be working in. Spoonbills use this sweeping motion to catch small fish, amphibians or insects or insect larvae. And this is something I didn't know until I got home, but mutual grooming like this in spoonbills is quite common. You see it in other species, but not every species. But this went on for quite a long time. And whenever you're watching a bird bathing like this, you need to be prepared, because when it's finished, it's going to flap its wings, probably even jump up in the air, although this spoonbill didn't. But you've got to give yourself space higher up the picture there to include those wings in the shot. Black stork and grey heron having a confrontation. The black stork is normally the dominant of the two species. And like the cinema hide, it's often quite difficult to separate the birds and not have another one in the background. There's so many birds there. At the same time, that gives you the action, the behaviour going on, which is always nice to film. You can come here in the winter, and I guess there's even more birds then. And if the weather's right, it could be really spectacular. You want a bit of snow, a bit of ice, then it could be really out of this world. Now, I only saw the one white stork, but as soon as it landed, you could tell this bird was super confident. He flapped his wings just the once as he walked in, but he was the boss. He was king of the birds, and everything else moved out of his way. But he didn't make a drama out of it. He was just nonplussed by all the activity going on around him. We didn't see many waterfowl, but this gadwall appeared, and when it took off, Pro Capture made it very easy to get it in flight. Now in the description underneath the video I will be putting a link to Bence Mate's website where you can go and read all about his setup, but although it's full of photographs of the hides and the wildlife you're likely to photograph, it doesn't tell you that much about the actual trip. So I'm going to try and fill in that gap a little bit here by telling what happened to us in our situation. Now there is an email address on the website, and if you send them an email, almost certainly the person that will respond to you is Andrea. Now Andrea has absolutely perfect English, and she has a style of writing that will make you feel good. She's particularly friendly and helpful. Now on the week that we were there were 14 photographers. We weren't all travelling together, people had come independently, but its normal routine is Saturday to Saturday. It's a full week. Now it's quite likely that if you wanted to go for 3 days or 10 days, if they've got the space, they would probably accommodate you. But the normal is Saturday to Saturday, and of course that makes it much easier for them, because on the Saturday they get extra staff in because they've got to clean out the rooms and change all the bedding, etc. So it is more convenient for them to do Saturday to Saturday. So we flew in to Budapest on the very earliest flight from London Heathrow with British Airways and got there at 11 o'clock. You need to be there for midday to meet up with everybody, then get to the farm. Now you get from the airport to the farm by taxi, but Andrea will arrange that for you. She will book the taxi, and you don't have to pay for the taxi then. You pay for the taxi when you get to the farm. If there's other people also going to be at the airport, Andrea will try to match you all up so you can get one big taxi. So there was 5 of us met up at Budapest airport and shared a taxi. It ended up costing 60 euros per person each way, 120 euros in total. It's about a 90-minute journey. We flew with British Airways, by the way, which is currently my favourite airline to fly with, because the hand luggage limit is 23 kilo, the same as you can put in the hold as well. And from a photographer's point of view, that's very reassuring. You're not going to be stopped taking your bag into the cabin. Although, be aware, you don't want a camera bag with wheels on. They do tend to pick on bags with wheels on to say you can't take that on board no matter what the weight. So you'll be arriving at the farm early afternoon. They show you to your rooms, and then you go down for lunch. During the meal, they'll be allocating you to your hide that you're going to go into that afternoon. And that becomes a routine. When you sit down for your evening meal, they'll be talking about which hides you're going to go in the morning. And then the following lunchtime, which hide you're going to go in the afternoon. And there's usually opportunity to do each of the major hides twice, at least twice. The cost of the trip will include your food, your accommodation, the guides and the hides. Doesn't include alcoholic drinks, as very few tours do. Any other questions you got, Andrea is the perfect person to ask. Thanks for watching.